And this is what we've been waiting for all year, folks. We're down to the final of the Premier Club Rugby here in Southland. The QTV Southland Wide Premier competition comes to an end today. 80 minutes from now, it's going to be Woodlands or Star will be the victors. They will be holding the Galba Shield aloft. And luckily, the weather's turned it on finally, just as we're about due for kickoff here at Rugby Park in Invercargill. And we've got kickoff due in about 2 minutes, and the sun's come out and beautiful conditions here. We're just good crowd building up as we start. Just waiting for the players to come out through the tunnel. We'll just quickly go through the teams for you as they pop up on screen. Of course, Woodland's been the top qualifiers after narrowly taking out their victory over Pirates Old Boys, and we've just got the Star team coming on now. And it's that pack there that have got to make the difference today. We've got Beckius, De Vries and Rutledge. They're up against a very good front row from Woodlands, and they need the support in behind them of Josh Beckius and Daniel Dowling, player of the day last week. They will be ably supported by Tama Tumata, Billy Soper. He needs a big one today, and of course their captain Mark McHugh at number 8. He'll be looking for everything from these guys, but it's there. That's the strength of that Star team. The back line, Taylor Adams having a terrific season this year. Pale Tuolangi will be directing things, and it's Vaianga and Cornforth in the centres, I believe, will make the difference for this Star team. Very powerful midfield, and they'll be looking to send away Mana Harrison and Afi Pateru, having a great season. Afi Pateru, he'll be looking to put some points on the board. Good reserve bench as well. Luckily, they've come up with enough players. Star have been struggling all season for players, but they've got themselves a good reserve bench, and big Bubba Luisi will come on. Andrew McHugh, he's been a stalwart for this team for many, many years. He'll be looking to get some game time too by the end of it. So Star, they've finally fronted up with a very good team, as you would expect in the Galba Shield semi-final, just making their way out onto the paddock now in the traditional blue and white hoops, led by the captain Mark McHugh. They've been here many occasions before. 5 of the last 7 contests have involved the Woodlands team. As you see there, very, very strong forward pack in Woodlands. Jamie McIntosh, Jason Rutledge and Nick Barrett make up a Super 15 front row, and they've got Marika Rongitha will be locking in behind them with the captain, Andrew McIntosh. He's had a big season as well, and their loose trio, they certainly know how to get through the work. Shannon Capini, Alex Taylor, good to see him out there, and he's going to get a full season in. He's been plagued with injuries, and Michael Galatli, a real workhorse. He's been putting in some big work in behind, and also a very good back line for the Woodlands team. Sonny Rangatoa-Riri, he'll be looking to get quick ball out to Marty McKenzie. He'll be calling the shots, and once again, that interesting combination in the midfield of Hello and Penn Warden. They'll be looking to take on the very formidable opposition from the Star team. A good reserve bench, young Ryan Carter. He'll be looking to get some game time as well. He needs it. He's a young hooker on the way up. He'll get plenty. And Blair McKenzie, one of the stalwarts of this team, along with Pete Copeland, been around for many years. They'll have savoured a few Woodlands victories in the Galba Shield, but they'll be looking for another one today. They all mean nothing at this stage. It comes down to this, and just as we wait for the Woodlands team to make the way out onto the paddock, we'll just cut down to Tom Conroy. He'll be sidelines comment, and luckily the sun's come out for you, Tom.
Yes, good afternoon, Jim. Good afternoon, everyone here from the surface at Rugby Park Stadium, which is in exquisite condition. They said a few drops of rain throughout the afternoon. That's all we're going to get. The overhead conditions will not be a factor in the outcome of this match. For me, it'll be the form of the two inside-back combinations of Taylor Adams and Pale Tuolangi against Sonny Rangatahere and Marty McKenzie. I think which combination plays the best will influence the outcome in favour of their team. I hope you enjoy the match. Jim, back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tom. And just Woodlands making their way out. I see they send Alex Taylor out with the ball. Maybe it was some recognition of him finally getting through a full season without breaking something. But I'm sure there's a more serious note. There's a very good reason as to why Alex Taylor. Maybe that's a job for you, Tom, to go and find out why he led the team out in front of Andrew McIntosh and stood out in front of the boys for a wee while. So very big game here for Alex Taylor today. As I mentioned, he's been plagued with injuries. He hasn't finished too many Galba Shield finals off. And Woodlands, they've been involved in many a Galba Shield final. These two teams, if you watch it, you'd almost think it's Groundhog Day come Galba Shield time. They've fronted up that many times, these two. But it all comes to nothing. They've had 2 encounters this year, very close encounters. Star winning the first one 17-13. Woodlands taking out the second encounter of the season 26-21. But as me and Tom Conroy talking earlier in the day, that means nothing. We've got different teams. And today's finals rugby, it's 0-0 as they're about to start. And under the guidance of the referee, Phil Johnson. Good to see Phil getting a Galba Shield final. He'll enjoy the occasion. Of course, very good footballer himself in the day, as Pale Tuolangi gets things underway. Michael Galatli goes to take it first of all, but he doesn't. He decides he'll leave it for Gareth Williams-Spears to run it up. They get to the 22-metre line. We're going to want to get a touch of this ball early, just to get the nerves out of the system. And good handling, good combination for this Woodlands pack. They've been together for quite some time now this season. Once they got Jamie McIntosh and Nick Barrett back from their Super 15 duties, they've been able to build combinations, and they're just going to peak at the right time for the coaches Damien Pine and Stu Brown. It's the first kick of the day. Not a lot of ground made in it, so that's a good attacking position for star Carter Voyinga. He's been massive, and he makes the first break of the game. Voyinga looking for support outside him, but Harrison runs inside. Carter Voyinga, he's one of these players that really must put his hand up today for Star. He's been a standout for them all season, playing terrific rugby as he heads on towards the ITM Cup. It guarantees he's going to make that stag squad, which will be announced tomorrow, but you'd have to say he's one of the favourites. As the ball comes loose, been left behind by Star, so Woodlands, they thank them very much for a very easy turnover. And penalty coming as well as Billy Soper. Just a wee bit too keen.
I can tell you, Jim, that is game number 50 for Mr. Taylor. Hence the acknowledgement by getting to run the ball out.
Well done. Good to have you down there, Tom, so we can feed this stuff to us immediately.
Ironically, I asked the star manager because I knew he'd know all the facts and figures about the players coming out, but that's a great achievement.
Yes, and as we mentioned, there would have been a lot more than that too if it wasn't for injury. A very, very good footballer, Alex Taylor, and hopefully he can show his wares today.
Yeah, for me, the sector today is whether Woodlands can recapture some of the early season form. The last 2 weeks, they've had a loss, and they scrambled to a very narrow margin win in the semi-final, and they're far from their best in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and saying that, Tom, I just felt the last week they were just keeping the cards pretty close to the chest. Pirates Old Boys, of course, taking nothing away from them. They certainly fronted and took it to Woodlands, but I don't think we've seen Woodlands giving it 100%. They did enough to win it. Probably a wee bit nerve-wracking at the end, but hopefully we'll see them ignite today with that back line that they've got. And it's going to be one of the strengths of the Star team as well as that back line. Warwick Lynn, here he goes now with his first touch of the ball on a run, and he does love to run, Warwick Lynn. Goes past one or two and runs into his own player, unfortunately. It's one of those unfortunate incidents that happen on a rugby paddock, and Warwick Lynn, you'll be disappointed with that. So 2.5 minutes into the game, we're going to have the first scrum.
Oh, we should have had a bet how long it was going to take before Jason had to change his contact lenses.
Oh, you're kidding.
We were joking about it, a few of the guys this week. They should have run a bit of a lottery, but I forgot to mention it to you, Jim.
Yes, well, it was a standard in international rugby. For years and years that you'd see a dog run onto the paddock. Well, down here in Invercargill rugby, it's how long it'll take Jason Rutledge to change his contacts or go looking for a contact. But we go back to the accidental here and just see that running into Michael Gallatley, avoiding Shannon Capini, and Michael Gallatley just getting in the road. No one's fault, purely accidental, but here that shot on screen we see just about every game that Jason Rutledge is playing has to change the contacts.
I think too, Jim, a factor is that Star losing Braden Mitchell, who's playing so well for them, not able to return from his Waikato duties. Big shoes to fill, and of course up against Jason Rutledge, Cody de Vries is going to have, he's going to have to play his best game.
Yeah, he's got a big heart, Cody de Vries. He'll front up. He's really going to, like, this is finals time, and that's where you'll see, we're about to see it in a couple of seconds. This Woodlands pack will really put it on here, but Cody de Vries, as Brad South, we've been fortunate enough to have Brad on in the commentary position a couple of times. And he said he's a good club man with a big heart and always lays it on the line for the blue and white. Today will be no different, but boy, they're up against a very good Woodlands scrum. Although, in saying that, they've got good clean ball on the first one, so no problems there for Star. As Gabriel Pickering takes a beautiful ball, fair in the basket, runs it straight back up. Good defence coming up. Cornforth comes up to make a tackle, puts him straight to ground, but it's clean ball for Woodlands. Big Andrew McIntosh, captain today. He would love nothing more than to hold the Galba shield aloft for the first time in the captain's position. The Sonny Rangatawariri makes a break up the centre. He's got good support on the outside of Marty McKenzie. Oh, he opts to put it to the boot. Whether that's the right call or not, we're about to see as McKenzie can't hold it. And I don't know what was wrong with the pass then. Rangatawariri was away. He had Marty McKenzie hearing up the left-hand side of him with the line wide open, and I don't think the kick was a good option.
Yes, I mentioned at the opening, I think the running ability of these two halfbacks in particular are going to be the major threat to the opposition. And there was a prime example of Sonny Rangatawariri seeing the gap and taking it, but I agree with the option-taking mistake, and still they won't be complaining about their field position.
The field position is good. We're just taking on the Ale House replay now, and gee, a pass would have been suffice, I think, as it left McKenzie an awkward situation of trying to gather in a bobbling ball when he's at full tilt. The end result, Star scrum feed. Woodlands put a big one on. Adams does well, gets clean ball, gets it up to Vainga. They rush up the defence of Woodlands. Stop Vainga dead in his tracks. Hello, big figure himself in the second 5 position, and they've given away the penalty, Woodlands. So Star, relief for them.
Fact for the viewers, Jim, 19 years since someone's defended the Galbraith Shield. That's a pretty long time in club rugby history.
Yes, it's an unbelievable statistic considering the strength of these two teams alone on the paddock. They've managed how many Galbraith Shields they've managed to take out, and yet none of them have managed to put 2 together. So over the last few years, Woodlands won it last year, of course. Star the year before, Woodlands the year before that, Star the year before that, Woodlands the year before that, and we just keep going back. And need I say it, back in 2007, Star were the victors that year. But neither of them been able to put 2 in a row. So I know Damien Pine was saying that that's what the hoodoo they're looking to break. And I'm sure Craig Puller, the coach of Star, will be more than happy for that to continue. In the mode that we've seen since 2007, it's been Star or Woodlands the victor, and they've just alternated each year. The ruck ball coming very slow. Star players in there digging. Pale Tuolangi end up having to go and play halfback, puts a wee chip kick over the top and straight into touch. It's all untidy at the end. It was very slow ball coming from that ruck. It must have been touched by a Woodlands player because we've got the line-out feed to Star. So Michael Lash, the touch judge or assistant referee as they're known these days, on the grandstand side for the first half, and Kirk Ray is the assistant referee number 2 on the terrace side. So obviously being touched by a Woodlands player. As we've got Mark McHugh doing the throwing duties. Of course, that's another one with the loss of Braden Mitchell, who was superb with the line-out throwing in the semi-finals. Away on duties with Waikato in a training camp. Of course, playing the ITM Cup for Waikato, Braden Mitchell, and he'll be sorely missed today by Star. They'll be hoping they can get up and win it, despite the loss of Braden Mitchell. It did make their job just that wee bit harder.
Just 5 gone, Jim, and really there's just there's nothing in it. One break from the Herity, everyone they look even on all parts of the field.
Yes, well, it's going to be an even game no matter which way you look at it. And when we go back through history, 5 points has been the biggest winning margin over these two teams. Between these two teams when they've met, well, we go back to 2007 was that biggest winning margin, and Star took it out 21 points to 16. And that's been the biggest margin between these two. Last year, of course, it was 2 years ago when Star previously met, it was 30 points to 27 to Star. Prior to that, Woodlands got away on a cliffhanger 22-21. So you can see that whenever these two teams meet in the final, there's nothing in it, but these are going to be the first points by the look of it. Penalty, the Woodlands.
5 blue, offside.
5 blue was the call. So Captain Andrew McIntosh getting up too quick and giving away what would look to be an easy 3 points here for Pale Tuolangi.
Yes, the ground level is virtually no breeze. Certainly not going to affect this kick at this close range. So great chance, and Star territorially have done well so far. And here's the reward.
You just go back to the Alehouse replay now. You can see Billy Sober having taken the ball up, and he gets driven back in a tackle. And then there's just a bit of keenness here, I think. No, we're going back further than that, so we've come just beyond it. He was playing advantage from an earlier position. I think he might have got the call from assistant referee Michael Lash on that one.
I'll give the ARs a bit of assistance here for you, Jim.
So you're in a very good position for that, Tom.
Early word. It's over.
As easy as you like, and you're about 30 seconds quicker than the assistant referees, Tom, so good positioning.
It's the top 2 inches, Jim.
And that's 3 points to 0. Start over Woodlands. And about 6 minutes into the game. No, closer to 9 minutes now, so it's starting to tick along. We've got the scoreboard clock saying 9 minutes. Just have to keep tabs of that along with the QTV clock as Marty McKenzie puts a high one in, but it's easy ball. And taken in by DeFries. Sets it up nicely, and Taylor Adams with the bust. Very reminiscent of Rangatoa Rere's in the earlier stages. Goes through, puts it to the boot. There's no chases at all for Star. They're taking their time to get up there. Mark McHugh's the first man to get there, and Warwick Lynn. So See, there's a lot of chasers, and puts it down the centre of the paddock, and Gavin Cartmell comes back, takes it right on halfway, and he's got good options. Cartmell weighs them up, goes to the right-hand side, and Mana Harrison just overrunning. Did the right thing, Cartmell. We couldn't let that ball go. So he's taken it in. He's taken the tackle. Star. Through the back line. Billy Soper has a look. Holo gets up and puts him straight to ground, and they drive over top Woodlands, and it's a good turnover here. Although the ball's been left, and they're scrambling on the ground for it, and Star have won it back. So a bit untidy there by Woodlands. They had the ball in their possession. They let it go. Cornforth goes to break the tackle, and Mackenzie can't get away. Mackenzie hangs on like a terrier. They go again. Star with good position. Woodlands rushing up though. They do have the best defence in the whole competition, Woodlands, throughout the season. It means nothing today, but it shows what they're capable of. And this time Pale Tuolangi down the centre. Warwick Lynn on his own gets left alone, and Taylor Adams with the inside ball, and Taylor Adams with the first try of the game after a brilliant wee run by Pale Tuolangi. Taylor Adams in good support, and Star out to a big lead early.
Well, how appropriate that Taylor Adams scores the try, because he's the one that initial break. He didn't have any support players, but the judgment of his kick was astute. He made the Woodlands defence give it back to Star. They held on to it, and he and Tuolangi, a very dangerous combination. Both great runners with the ball in hand. They're able to combine and finish it off, and what a find he is for Southland to get them down from Auckland last year. He looks to be a huge prospect for the future, Taylor Adams.
Yeah, very good indeed, and shows good gas. Really, they had no show at all, the Woodlands defence, once Pale Tuolangi had made the break. There was open spaces, and unlike the break of Taylor Adams, there was good support there to take the ball in a very handy position. This should extend the lead out to 10 points to 0. And Woodlands rock back on the heels in the early stages. No problems at all with the conversion, 10 points to 0, and Pale Tuolangi, a penalty and a conversion, and a try assist, I guess we'd call it, as we go back to the Ale House replay now, and there's the bust, and just takes his time, weighs up his options, great play, and Taylor Adams couldn't believe his luck when he looked up ahead of him, not a blue jersey to be seen, and 10 points to 0, Star, impressive in the early stages. Mackenzie once again gets it high. DeFries, he's got the job of taking that ball on, and he's done it well twice. Puts it in. McHugh is going to look to spread it. Woodlands gets up, make the tackle, but it's clean ball. Adams enjoying what he's seen. And Rutledge, Andrew Rutledge. There's a number of brothers out there today between the two teams. Of course, a Rutledge on either side. The McIntosh brothers playing for Woodlands. The big QS brothers, as Woodlands have turned it over. It's a chance for Woodlands. Get some of them points back as Rutledge comes up, and he's taken in a big tackle. Driven back and put him straight to ground. I think it was Billy Soper that made the tackle. No, it wasn't. It was Cartmell, Gavin Cartmell. Marty Mackenzie, looking at his options. Mackenzie's still alive, hustling and bustling around, and eventually gets the ball loose. Alex Taylor has to come back and tidy it up. This is scrambling play from Woodlands. Not been able to get right into it yet. It's Gallatley with a bust. So Michael Gallatley goes straight over the top of Taylor Adams. Now the support comes. They're not in big numbers though. The penalty's coming. Woodlands not getting there in big numbers at the breakdown. They're just not as quick as the Star team at this stage.
No, the Star defence coming up very quickly indeed and forcing error. Not on that occasion, but just to let you know, the breeze has picked up in the last few minutes, and it will be blowing from bottom right of your picture to top left, so there's a wee bit of a test here, but at close range it shouldn't be a problem to get Woodlands on the board at last. Just going back to Taylor Adams, I was talking to Dave Henderson about him last year. He said he reminded him of a very young Justin Marshall, not just the general ability but his supreme confidence on the park, and we're seeing that in this crucial final, so let's hope he can keep up that form when moving on to ITM Cup.
Most definitely, that's a big call. But hopefully he can live up to it, Taylor Adams, as long as he's wearing a maroon and gold jersey and stays down here in the deep south. Marty Mackenzie, another young rising star. Would imagine he'd love to be playing outside Taylor Adams in the Stags team this year. That 9 and 10 combination. never in doubt. And 3 points to Woodlands. Just drags that lead back ever so slightly. 10 points to 3 now. Star leading over Woodlands. Woodlands will be relieved to get their first points on the board. The 15-minute mark, starting to tick through the game. It's surprising how quick these finals go, Tom.
Absolutely. You get so absorbed in the individual battles and the way the game is ebbing and flowing, and suddenly you look at the clock and you're right, 15 minutes have passed, and really it's been probably 10 minutes to Star, 5 to Woodlands, I'd say, in terms of game dominance.
Yes, no, that would be a fair call. There's Tuolangi. Probably old kick. Makes it hard for Woodlands to pick up, but Michael Glatley does it and runs it straight back. Good hard running forward, Michael Glatley. A number of years now, he's been hitting it up good and hard, as to this man, Mark McHugh, for Star. Been wearing that number 8 jersey for some years. And unfortunately just bobbled the ball on the ground and is taken in the tackle by Alex Taylor. Good field position here for Woodlands.
Been the bit of hope in the Woodlands camp now. They've got points on the board. I feel they're now very much part of this game, and that showed with that defensive effort.
So just looking back, I was watching an old video replay of the 2010 final between these two that finished 22 points to 21 to Woodlands, and Star got out to a handy enough lead in that game as well. And then the second half, Woodlands, they really come into their own. But in saying that, they only got away with a 1-point victory in the last minute. Very exciting final. And this one could be heading down the same way, I think. For a scrum feed to Woodlands, not tidy. Third scrum of the game, but 2 of them feeds have been to Star. So Sonny Rangatoa gets his first feed. Star, as you can hear the call, coming from one of these Star players down there at the breakdown, is make them work here. Don't give it to them. It's much tidier from Woodlands. Rangatoa, we have the 8-9, and he puts the wee kick forward and just allowed to roll into touch by Cartmel. Good field position here for Woodlands. About 18 metres out, and it is a Star line out. Someone, of course, with Josh Beckwith will be a lot more comfortable, and Daniel Dowling, so they've got some good line out exponents in their start. Woodlands not short of them themselves. Marika Roqica jumping at 2 against Josh Beckwith at Mark McHugh. Oh, and Roqica puts a lot of pressure on Beckwith, but Beckwith does well, shows his experience and managing to take that ball in tidily. Taylor Adams looking for the box kick, and it goes straight into the hands of William Spears, and he hands it off to Lynn, who has a bit of a run. Not making a lot of ground, Warwick Lynn. Now they start to put it through the hands. Marty McKenzie, bit of a run. Runs into a wall. Mona Harrison gets up there, makes a tackle. Now they're starting to come forward, Woodlands. Good defence from start. They're lined up. Very constructive defence. Roqica with a bit of a run, looking for the inside ball. There's no one there, and the ball comes loose. So advantage being played here to Star. Rutledge gets in and tidies it up. Not quick enough, says referee Phil Johnson. Will come back for the scrum.
Great to see Josh Beckwith out here. Finals time, turned up for the semi last week after a minimum break since his Highlanders campaign, which was a busy one. So he's happy to be there when his club needs him. So I'm sure that'll be appreciated.
He had a lot of game time for the Highlanders. I'm sure he's feeling it at the moment, but it was one game. He's a good Star man. And if you wanted to put one more game on the line for the team, and it is great to see him there. Great to see a number of these players back. Players are reaching higher levels, and they've funded up for their clubs.
Touch, sit.
Good hit by Star. Woodlands now put the pressure on, and they got away with it. Mark McHugh does well to tidy that ball up. Woodlands were really putting the heat on at that scrum, and he gets off a good ball. Carter Flyinga on the break. He's got players outside him. Cartmel, and just goes one too far. No, puts it to the boot, Flyinga, and it's just going to roll into touch. But he had Cartmel and Harrison on the outside, screaming for the ball. And Kevin Cartmel, he's got the knee well bandaged up, but showed good pace. Right on the hip, you'll see Flyinga make the break, and that's not unexpected. Gets past Penn Warden, and once again opts for the kick. There's a couple of options. I don't know if they've been the right ones yet, Tom.
No, but they're making enough breaks. If they can convert a few of these, Star, they're going to be in a very comfortable position. Another chance here.
And Cartmel with the drop kick, and that's a horror. It's been played at though, so it's put his team back on side. And in saying that, it could turn out to be a disaster. Oh no, Warwick Lynn. William Spears with a poor pass. No, back to Phil Johnson playing the men in front of the kick.
Talk about poor options. I don't think a drop goal was on then. It wasn't desperate times. It was a long way out. They had some ball and they were well positioned, so I question that one.
Yes. Maybe something like that when you're in finals time, that you could look back and kick yourself by the end of the game. Kevin Cartmell, we're hoping that's not the case on that one. Marty McKenzie had done well earlier to scramble that ball out, and all he could do was just hack the ball down the paddock and left Cartmell with a lot of time and probably too much time to make the decision, so he opted for the drop kick. End result, we're down here in the Star side of things. And good ball from the back. Galatly gets it through. Oh, Marty McKenzie having to reach for it. It's lost it forward. It's been untidy the early stages. We're just about at the first quarter mark. And a couple of good breaks from Star. Woodland's not really getting into the game yet. As well as scrum's been said, I'll take this opportunity. We can never forget the help we get from our sponsors throughout the season, bringing you QTV South and Wide Club Rugby. Today, the culmination of it all, the Galbraith Shield final, and we must thank the assistance from Donaldson Construction, Sono Sound Systems United Scaffolding, and the Invercargill Licensing Trust for coming on board with QTV and helping us bring you club rugby every weekend. And today's the big one from Rugby Park. Star taking on Woodlands and leading 10 points to 3 in the Galbraith Shield final. And we're at that first quarter mark now as DeFries takes the ball up. Star managing to starve Woodlands in possession at the moment. Woodlands are getting at the making mistakes. There's a good kick to Alangi. Puts it down to Warwick Lynn. He brings Gabriel Pickering in. Pickering, he's looking to get the hands on the ball. He wants to run and doesn't get far, Pickering. Some good defence comes up. Knocks him straight to ground. The ball not coming quick for Woodlands either. And ruck being called.
Ball's on the ground.
Yes, I was thinking about that drop kick. I think the fact that Star got a bit of a breeze behind them may have been an influencing factor, and you could see the clearance kicks from Woodlands not going quite as far, so perhaps trying to utilise the conditions. But it is coming and going, that, so I don't think Woodlands can rely on that assistance in the second half necessarily.
Yeah, you can just see some of the supporters' flags for the Star team, especially on the in-goal area down there, and it looks like there's a bit more of a breeze than we give it credit for.
I think there's the kids waving them around.
They hit them parked on the ground before and they were doing a fair bit of flapping, but there's a good scrum from Woodlands. McKenzie this time takes it two hands, puts a wee chip over the top. Hello, through, and he's got it. Two hands. Has he got support? You bet he has. Penn Morden gets cut down by Mana Harrison, and a brilliant tackle, Mana Harrison. This Penn Morden was looking at the try line, and Ron Geether, there's another one of those unforced errors from Woodlands as Marika Ron Geether puts it to ground. Star coming in over top. They're going to play this advantage. They'll get double bite at this. They change direction. On the break, Afi Batiru getting across, and he's thrown the ball away. Afi Batiru, unfortunately for Star, as Alex Taylor does well. He's doing a lot of tidying up, Alex Taylor. Woodlands go and they dig it out. This time Jamie McIntosh hits it up, makes a good 3 or 4 metres on the charge. McKenzie, a lot of throwing around of this ball. Hello. Goes to the outside. William Spears, no room to move at all. Dances down the sideline and gets pushed into touch by Tuolangi.
Well, how crucial was that tackle from Mana Harrison at when that sweeping movement was moving upfield? And last week, Jim, you and I discussed who's been around the longest. Is it Harrison? Was it Mike Wilkins? And we had a viewer ring up this week and they said, well, Jonas Sieper played for Marist this year and he might beat them both.
That's a very good point, actually.
Yes, that was a good name we hadn't bandied around. So I think they may have the winner there.
Yes, they may. It'd be interesting. If anyone can beat that, they'll be doing well, I think. But Iona Sieper, he has been around a number of years. Of course, Mana Harrison, all the years he's been around, he's not lost none of his ability, skill or class. He's a very good footballer, Mana Harrison, not just on attack, as he showed then, as you mentioned, Tom. That was a crucial tackle.
Just having those cool heads in finals conditions like Mark McHugh, those guys have been here, done this many times. You can have your young guys, up and comers, and the flash Harrys, and the people can dance the steps. But in these finals, those guys are they're invaluable.
I just get that feeling Woodlands might be a wee bit guilty of that at the moment. You talk about the flash Harry; they're putting it wide as quick as they can. They may need to get a bit of ground position first, bit of territory, and then try and work the moves from there. But cutting capers from a long way out might be the instructions. They may have come out here to try and win this game as well as they can and look impressive doing it, but They're up against a very good team. A lot of pressure coming on Beckwith. Taylor Adams, untidy ball, but she's strong. Does well there. The attentions of Rutledge and Roqica. Taylor Adams just getting bundled into touch eventually. As Rangatawariri goes for the quick throw. That's, line-out's been called. Yeah, I think that's the correct call too. We do love to see the quick throw. And start, or a sound asleep in the background there. Woodlands had about 3 men onto one. They would have been away, but I think it was the right call to come back. Number of bodies around in that line-out position. That's probably just another indication of how Woodlands are wanting to speed things up in this game. They want to play it at pace. Rutledge goes to the middle, finds Roqica with a beautiful two hands, feeds it off nicely. So ball being put in front of all the players this time as William Spears is taken down the 22-metre mark. They've used most of the width of the paddock to get across Woodlands. They haven't made a lot of ground territorially. Andrew McIntosh, he's been held up, but busting free comes Jamie McIntosh with the ball. That was Nick Barrett, it was. Bust out of that maul, and the wee kick's been put through. Chased by Pickering, but it's too deep, and
22.
Easily tidied up for start. Now, when you're in the 22, I don't know if that was the right call either. Some of these decisions have been a wee bit rushed, I think, Tom.
You've got 15 to go.
I agree, but yes, the finals, you're trying to do that. Something extra special to break the defences down or catch them out, and they've been high-risk options.
Yes, they have. This one not too bad, of course, only forcing the 22. Straight down the middle of the paddock, so good options here on attack Woodlands. Roqica's going to be told to hit this up, take it to ground, and they'll set it up from there. McIntosh comes in, drives forward, and Starr just straight over top of it, and it was Josh Beckwith.
Front of the last man that played the ball.
Very good play, Josh Beckwith. Good attacking play at the breakdown. And Woodlands knew what they were doing there, never committed enough numbers, and it was too easy for Beckwith. Just driving straight over top and exposing Woodlands.
Right.
A bit too far for the penalty kick, so Pele Tuolangi puts it down the paddock. And about 35 metres out.
Cool.
Let's go back to the Josh Beckwith as the breakdown here, and Roqica. You see McIntosh leaving the feet, but then Josh Beckwith comes in on Rangatawariri, who had played the ball, and then you'll see then it's played by a Woodlands player. You can just see Channing Kapini comes in and plays it in an offside position. That's what the penalty was for. And they come down to good play from Josh Beckwith. Bubba Luisi now out on the paddock. I see Daniel Dowling's off already. Daniel Dowling, so Bubba Luisi having replaced Dowling. Through the back line they go, so start. All these backs wanted to use it. Cornforth. Woodlands will have to watch him. Great man on the break, Tim Cornforth. Looking to make a gap every chance he gets. Ball goes to ground, and Mana Harrison, he's been given a hard job to tidy that up. Gabriel Pickering does exceptionally well, gets the ball off to Marty McKenzie with all the pace in the world and totally against the run of play. Marty McKenzie's going to dot down for Woodlands.
Right.
Gabriel Pickering, the acrobat. He was juggling with that ball and did exceptionally well. It all come down to a bad pass to Mana Harrison. And Mana Harrison was left stranded. And you can see the Woodlands boys, they're thrilled with that one. We're just going to go to the Ale House replay now, then we'll bring you in, Tom, but we're just going to go through that first. You can see that's bad luck for Mana Harrison. Gabriel Pickering with exceptional skills. Put it to the foot, up into the hands, and then Marty McKenzie, he's got all the pace of a good winger or a fullback himself, even for a first five. And dots down. That is the try they needed, Woodlands, to get them right back into this game.
Yes, I could see the star players turn and see the number 10 jersey and knew that it was a foregone conclusion once McKenzie had it in his hands. No one was going to gun him down from that far out. And yes, after all the effort they've put in, they could now be level on the scoreboard, and they'll think that's a little bit unfair, but that's the way it goes. They made an error and they were punished.
And that's exactly it, Tom. Finals time, you make a mistake, you will be punished. Not may be punished. But interestingly enough, Marty McKenzie wasn't too desperate to get around under the sticks. When he had the chance, he was quite happy to dot down, so a bit of confidence in his kicking maybe.
Well founded.
No problem whatsoever. Marty McKenzie knew exactly what he was doing. He knew he could convert that, and he scored all the Woodlands points so far, 10 points apiece. Well, I've said time and time again, how close these encounters are between Star and Woodlands. This is no exception. Almost at the 30-minute mark, and 10 points all. 1 try, 1 conversion, 1 penalty. It's game on. Any mistakes will be punished. Pale, Tuolangi goes deep this time. Michael Gallatley leaves it, and it's out on the full. Not what you want.
From.
So Michael Gallatley having a wee smile to himself. He read it brilliantly. He went up to take the ball. He was in good position. He opted to leave it and hit the ball, hit the line. You see here, we get a beautiful shot of that. Great camera work. Whoever took that, give yourself a pat on the back. Was that you, Jeremy? What a great shot. The ball right on the line, as you'd see in tennis. As we've got a change here for Woodlands.
No pay rise forthcoming though, Jim. Don't build them up too much.
I've seen them flash pizzas. They're getting well paid. So Shannon Kapini coming to the sideline.
Ball's not here yet.
And I must apologise, I didn't see who ran onto the paddock then. Tom, who was it? Did you get that?
Right, here we go.
I'm just trying to work that out now. Don't have an official
I'd be guessing it'll be Pete Copeland or Blair McKenzie.
Well, I'll try and spot it for you.
My money's on Pete Copeland.
Crouch!
What a very good man he would be to have on the bench. Yes, it must be Blair McKenzie's down there on the bench. So I would imagine it's Pete Copeland. Hopefully nothing amiss with Shannon Kapini. There's Warwick Lynn. Warwick Lynn he couldn't get that ball on the inside. He'd made the break, Warwick Lynn. He had Sonny Rangataoreri on the burst. Ron Geetha starting to get involved in play now. Comes forward.
Quite right, Pete Copeland.
McIntosh, the Rutledge. They're going to set it up here, these big boys.
Right.
They'll wait for Woodlands to get set. Marty McKenzie said they are. Let's have it. Brings Warwick Lynn in again. Warwick Lynn wanting to get heavily involved in play. He's been bringing himself forward. Wants a part of this. Rangataoreri finds McKenzie again. McKenzie with his options, and this is going to be a deft wee kick in behind and rolls into touch. About 15 metres out.
Suddenly, Lynn's stars are starting to shine, aren't they? His key playmakers, McKenzie, one of them, has really stepped it up in the last 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yes, you can just feel the confidence building, although I would never, ever be silly enough to write the star team off. They'll keep fighting, and they've got a lot of game breakers themselves. You haven't seen Tim Cornforth on the break yet, but you know that's going to happen.
No.
In the next 50 minutes, I could just about guarantee at some stage Tim Cornforth will bust that Woodlands defence apart. But I mentioned earlier, Woodlands do have the best defensive line in the competition throughout the round robin. As DeFries comes back, couldn't tidy that up. It's gone loose, and Woodlands have come through and snaffled it. Oh, you can see here, great opportunity for Woodlands. There's Pete Copeland, first touch of the ball, makes a good 2 or 3 metres, drives to the line. They're inside the 5 metre mark here, and they've lost it. Josh Beckwith has come over. He's won the ball for Star. Great play, Josh Beckwith. Just sets the ball up and not coming quick enough, and there's a reason for that, says Phil Johnson.
This guy here, straight down behind you.
I think it was Nick Barrett that got penalised.
This guy.
Just at this point, Jim, when the scores are tied, good to remind the viewers what happens if they're tied at full time. And there'll be a 5-minute break, and then there'll be 2 10-minute halves with a 2-minute break between those. And in the event of a draw at the end of extra time, the match will be decided by the team who scored the most tries in the match, which is, of course, 1 each at the moment. Then the points differential, and then if that's still even, it'll be a shared title.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. But that is the scenario in the case of a draw. And with these two teams being so even, it is very much a possibility. As Star coming for the short line out, Mark McHugh, wee short dab to Josh Beckwith, takes it lovely and sends along that back line. Here's Carter Voyinga on the break again, and Carter Voyinga looks to the outside. He's got Billy Soper and Mana Harrison screaming at him on the outside, and Mana Harrison gets it. Just a wee bit of a delay as Gabriel Pickering. Good defence, gets across, but Carter Voyinga, huge. He's been a monster out there today, Carter Voyinga, and making the breaks up the centre and backs them up with 30, 40 metre runs. We see here the man in the yellow boots, Carter Voyinga. Billy Soper screaming outside him. Then Mana Harrison arrives on the scene. He gets the ball. Oh, good defensive play, Gabriel Pickering. He read it well and saved the day. Woodlands untidy ball. Rangataoreri goes high. There's a very good kick and chased by Gabriel Pickering. Well done, Gabriel Pickering. Gets up, gets Mana Harrison. Goes to ground. And penalty coming. This is kickable.
Hands are going on the ground, then going for the ball.
Yes, it's certainly Star with the
Hands on the
more
ground, then going
line
for the
breaks and good ones too. But that's not one of the criteria that decides to turn into points. And at least they've got a chance here to pick up 3 after that great break by Voyinga.
Yes, of course, we haven't seen Tim Cornforth have his go yet. Vainga has been dominating, and I'm sure when Woodlands start concentrating on Vainga,
Hey, Andrew.
it'll be Cornforth that comes to the fore. But
It's going over, hands on the ground, then they're going for the ball.
Just flopping over the top was the call.
Straight to the ball, okay?
Yeah, you can see Woodlands weren't too happy with that. It's a hard call, that, especially when there's no one there holding up. And you're driving forward, and there's no opposition there to hold you up, and you go to ground. But rules are rules.
I was gently reminded by the officials that if we get into that situation, to quote law 6A, 4A. Do you remember what that is, Jim?
No.
The referee, sole judge of time and fact.
Well, that's true. That is true. Taylor Adams with the kicking duty here, so it looks like he's going to take the long distance shots. Pale Tuolangi with the closer in. Taylor Adams, very good goal kicker in his own right.
Cross breeze here too, Jim, so this is not an easy kick by any measure, but I'll try and give you a call on it. It looks pretty good at the moment. It's just whether it's got the legs or won't.
Never got a hold of it properly side on, Tom. I can see you deep in goal there, but he stabbed it a wee bit and got underneath it. Looked like he used a pitcher when he should have been using a 7-iron, I think. More height in it than distance, but a let off there for Woodlands. After the break from Vainga and then the penalty from Taylor Adams, Woodlands doing all they can, and that clock's racing by. Only 5 minutes left in this half, 35 minutes racing by, and 10 points all. Mana Harrison gets it tight, he gives it to Cartmill. Cartmill's going to spread it wide to Vainga. Vainga puts it to the boot this time. William Spears sees them. Coming, puts it high. Is it going to go in? Stays in the field of play, but well read Pele Tuolangi. Kept the foot out of the field of play as he took the catch. And that's a line out throw. Back inside the Woodlands half to start. And the way Josh Beckius has been plucking this ball out, Mark McHugh doing a terrific job in finding him. Set up very much as a one-man band. Daniel Dowling back on the paddock. Must have been off for a blood bin earlier. See him back out there now. And it's him that they go for, but they don't get it tidily. Taylor Adams gets in and tidies it up, though.
Got them all there, White.
Intentions of Nick Barrett and Jamie McIntosh around him. He's going to do particularly well if he can free this ball up out of that. I can't see it happening.
Use it!
And there's the call from the referee and the turnover. So the big props do well for Woodlands.
I do count the numbers.
Got through quick, McIntosh and Barrett. We've seen Taylor Adams under a bit of pressure when it wasn't taken cleanly in the line out. So inside the final five, Galway Shield final, 10 points all. Just go back to that line out. You see Taylor Adams, he's on his own there, and you can see Nick Barrett and Jamie McIntosh, one on either side. Andrew McIntosh coming in to lend support as well. And there's no way Taylor Adams is going to free that ball up out of there. It's well wrapped up.
Touch! Set!
Back to the live scrum. Rangatauriri feed scrums have been very good today, actually. I thought they might have been quite disruptive in a situation like this, but the teams have been very positive. Gabriel Pickering with a good ball from Marty McKenzie, puts it to the boot. Goes to chase through. Billy Soper pops it up to Cartmill, does well. Cartmill tries to get past that Woodlands defence. It gets put straight to ground, but it's going to be clean ball all the same. As Adams comes in, fires it up to Tuolangi. He's outside his 22, so he can just stab a little kick into the box. And he does well. What a great kick, Pele Tuolangi.
Touch.
It's about 5 metres on the Woodland side of halfway when he was in trouble. So the experience of these players come final time really does start to shine. And line out time again. This one would want to be tidier for start.
2 metres.
Mark McHugh calling. I'd imagine they'll go back to Beckius, and they do. It's not tidy, but it's good. Rutledge tidies up at the back all the same. Does well. Pops the ball up to DeFries. Now Adams comes forward.
Play on.
Scoops the ball up, and it's just bobbling back, but there's plenty of star jerseys back there to tidy it up as Woodlands come racing through. Alex Taylor's come through, made the big tackle. Now trying to drive over the top of it and giving away a penalty again, Woodlands.
There, one.
Penalty count starting to mount against them.
You need to make a concerted effort to get out of there. Too slow.
Jamie McIntosh, the last man getting up. I don't know if he was the man penalised, but not getting out of there quick enough was the call from referee Phil Johnson. It's Pele Tuolangi. Time ticking away here in the first half. Just a couple of minutes left on the clock. And puts a deep one. A very good kick, Pele Tuolangi.
Whether you can spot put his 3 times he's
Coming.
on the ground.
Sorry, just cutting out there, Tom. Just losing you, getting bits and pieces of that.
I hope you got the best bits.
Unfortunately, we just got the end of words. I'm sure it was a very intelligent comment that you were making. Very insightful.
So just say that you agree.
Yeah, you're right, Tom. You're bang on. But what we do have that is factual is a Star throw inside their own 22. This one must be tighter, and it is. Dowling takes it 2 hands. They've set up a maul. This is what they've been looking for, Star. But Woodlands are having none of it. They come through, and they're all over Star there at the breakdown, and they've monstered them. Got the ball off them. Terrific play, Woodlands. Good defensive play from Woodlands, and then Rangatoa Riri puts a terrific kick up in the air and chased by Jason Rutledge. Who else? Hearing off down the paddock, stops Star just short of halfway, as you can see there as the ball bobbles out. Woodlands really starting to apply the pressure. Star territorially. They've been all over Woodlands in the last 10 minutes.
No,
when the big calls have needed to be made, Woodlands have stepped up, and none more so than that previous line out. And it was a good 2-handed take by Daniel Dowling. They'd set up the maul, and then Woodlands rushed in.
White ball.
It's almost a half of 2 halves, isn't it, Jim? They started a very long period in the middle dominant, but towards this last 10, maybe 15 minutes, Woodlands have stamped some authority on this match.
Go 9.
Especially since they started scoring a few points, and they denied Star when they had been down this end of the field. So it set it up for a fantastic second 40.
Oh, absolutely. And been a staunch supporter of one of these teams. Nerves will be starting to kick in as we get a free kick now. Mark McHugh taps and goes. Finds Tuolangi. Now Soper. They're just exchanging the ball left to right, looking at options. There's nothing really on. And Taylor Adams decides to kick it and leaves Warwick Lynn with no option but to bundle it in to touch. And that's 40 minutes up already. And what a terrific first 40 it's been. This is real finals football. 10 apiece. No one really dominating yet. Star, they've had their moments in the game, as too have Woodlands. But, it's going to come down to whoever makes the least mistakes in this second half, I think, Tom.
Yes, I think for the neutral observer, it couldn't be better set up. 10 all, 2 good tries, 1 from each side. Some fine line breaks, some real hard-nosed tackling and defence from both teams. And so, you just cannot separate them. And that's the way finals should be. And I'm no more confident picking the result now than I was 40 minutes ago. I don't know how you see it, Jim.
No, I just said exactly the same. I said at the start of the game it's 0-0. Well, it basically still is. I know it's 10-all, but it's whoever scores first in the second half is going to have a massive advantage. I'd love to be a fly on the wall to see what's going on inside them huddles between the two coaches. But they'll say what they need to say to inspire their teams, and we'll find out in the next 40 minutes who's going to be the most inspired. So don't leave us. From Rugby Park, we'll be right back here in the second half. Galbra Shield time, 10 points apiece. Well, if you've only just joined us here on QTV for the Galbra Shield semi-final, you've missed a very exciting first 40 minutes. It's 10 apiece here at Rugby Park in Invercargill. As you can see there, Star, Woodlands, and very close encounter. 1 try apiece. We've had a try to Taylor Adams, the halfback for Star, and in response, Woodlands, number 10, Marty McKenzie, went over. But it's a very exciting game. There's never been much between these two teams when they've taken each other on at come finals time. Today is no exception, and it's going to come down to this next 40 minutes. Whoever makes the least mistakes wins. And I don't know what was said down there during the huddle at a half-time break, Tom, but were you anywhere within earshot?
Distance from both camps. So, any details at this stage? Sure, we'll see in the first 5 minutes what attitude change there.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see which team comes out fizzing as Marty McKenzie puts a nice high one up and taken in by Josh Beckwith. Goes straight to ground. Taylor Adams, he's been big in the first half. He's had a great half, as too has Mark McHugh. A lot of these players really fronting up today, as you would expect. It's the last 40 minutes now of their season in club rugby. Pale Tuolangi looks for a gap in behind. Warwick Lynn, good position, takes it. Weighs up his options, puts it to boot. No one back in the fullback position. And Tama Tumata, he goes back with Taylor Adams. He decides to leave it alone for Taylor Adams. 2 or 3 metres out, takes it up to the 5 metre mark. And that's a big territorial gain from Woodlands. And still inside their 22. They're going to get the line out throw.
Yeah, that was an excellent tactical kick. Hoping it was going to run over the goal line, but it just didn't have the legs and the breeze and off the side of the boot, and this is the result.
So they'll be pleased with the start, Woodlands. They've got to cut out that error rate they had in the first half, the first 10-15 minutes. A lot of knocked on ball, unforced errors. Line out throw. Inside the 22, they go deep. Roqica takes it, 2 hands, it's slapped back.
Knocked on.
And very well done. Knocked on was the call, but it was Josh Beckwith that got in there and slapped the ball out of Roqica's hands. So a knock on is the call. Star still inside their 22. They may come back. No, advantage over is the call once he'd put it to boot. Warwick Lynn comes racing forward, takes it beautifully. On the fly, Warwick Lynn. He's had plenty of ball the first 45 minutes of this game. Warwick Lynn, Andrew McIntosh, the captain today for Woodlands, takes it up. Rangatoa Riri comes in, finds Mackenzie, and just sets one alight. Very close to being intercepted, that ball. Gabriel Pickering takes it in, but he's been well and truly wrapped up and put to ground. The ball's been called, and it'll be a turnover here. This will be a Star feed.
Taken in by Blue. Let him go, Blue.
And a couple of players not happy with what's going on the ground. Good to see a bit of tension in the game. You would expect that come finals time. Be disappointed if we didn't see it.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are fired up for this game, and I think we're seeing a quality game of club football today. Often the finals can be messy affairs. People a bit afraid to take a few risks, but both teams have taken risky options. Some of them have come off and some haven't.
Yes, no, that's dead right, Tom. And we just see on the Hale House replay, it was just Jason Rutledge trying to relieve Tim Cornforth of his headgear that he took exception to. But a centre shouldn't go pushing and shoving at a hooker in general, and run into his own man there, Star. So that's bad luck. Big scrum from Woodlands, put the pressure on Star.
Blue scrum.
And that's a turnaround now, so it's going to be a Woodlands feed. Disappointing for Star. So they go to set again, and saying that I'm surprised how tidy these scrums have been. I thought they would have been a bit of a mess today. Both teams not wanting to give an inch.
Crouch.
Get a perfect view of this
Touch.
hit.
Set.
Good contact.
Get in.
Steadies now. As you can see, there's a very good platform, that scrum. Rangatoa Riri, not his best pass of the day. Hello gets it. Goes for a bit of a run. Willis, hello, gets it from behind, but he makes a good 10 metres in the process, though. Good run, hello. Jamie McIntosh takes it up. His big legs of his pumping. Tries to shrug off the opposition. Takes him with him. Rangatoa Riri. Little kick over the top. He hasn't got the chaser, though. It's only Alex Taylor that's there. And Cartmore gets all day. So good option in the end by Rangatoa Riri. He's playing a good thinking game today. He's had a good season, Sonny Rangatoa Riri. So he's still a very good footballer. It's Woodlands. They don't have the line out throw, but they do have the line out 7 metres out from the Star line. They'll be looking to put some pressure on here. Mark McHugh goes to Beckwith. Roqica gets up. And not straight the throw. This is massive in the text of this game.
Blue scrum.
Dead in line with that, Jim, and no question a crooked throw. So that's could be a costly error. I know it's cliche, but this first points after half-time in this game in particular, I think are going to be crucial.
Well, it may be the only point scored in this half. You would never know. It's that tight. But, yeah, that's massive. We can't blame Mark McHugh, of course, being thrust into the job of throwing into the line out, the number 8. Normally a participant in the line out himself, but he's had the job of having to throw in after losing Braden Mitchell. So Woodlands with the scrum feed. They put a good one on. Gallatley wasn't the tidiest scrum you'd see, and Gallatley takes it off the back though, gets clean ball. So Rangatoa Riri leaves it for the big boys to take it up another couple of metres. Now McIntosh drives the line, finds Alex Taylor on the burst, and he gets taken down. Tuolangi does well. She's had a great game, Pale Tuolangi. There's Hello, goes very, very wide, and Pickering shows his skills. Oh, great work, Gabriel Pickering. Just bats that ball back into play. It was going out, and had he tried to retrieve it, he would have gone out with the ball. So he's kept it alive for his Woodlands team. Rutledge now tidies it up. They've lost a considerable amount of ground here, though, Woodlands. They're on the back foot. They still have the ball. Roqica takes it to ground. Gallatley goes in and support. They try again. There's numbers this time. Quick ball. They've got the numbers here. Hello. Pops the ball up, and Penn Warden's left it behind. Oh, a knock on was a call from Phil Johnson. No advantage coming. We've got a penalty right in front of the sticks. Sorry, not directly in front. Just about 5 metres off to the right-hand side. Very kickable position and points that must be taken.
Right here.
And I think Star might be quite happy to take their punishment of 3 and go back and start again. because they're just under the cosh here.
Yes, I think if Penn Warden had taken that ball cleanly, he was over in the corner. They had the numbers there, Woodlands, and Willis Hello had made the break. We're just going to watch the AL House replay now, and McKenzie rushes off Soper, and Hello had set up Penn Warden here. He had brought in Batiru. Batiru was committed. It was good defence coming along there and all the same. May not have been a certain 5 points. There's Carter Faiinga and Pale Tuolangi. Pale Tuolangi really stepped up today. He was going to be there as the last line of defence. But after all that, we're back here for a penalty kick. About 20 metres out. Just to the right-hand side. Strikes it well. No, he did not. He has missed. Marty McKenzie.
I didn't go behind the post. That was a formality, Jim. So I had complete confidence that he'd slot it, but wrong.
Wow, that could be crucial. It's been a series of mistakes. Someone's going to look back at the end of this game and go, what if? Marty McKenzie, I don't think it'll faze him. He'll probably go and redeem himself now with scoring a try, but Alex Taylor, he's headed up. Alex Taylor, good run by Taylor. Takes 2 or 3 star players with him, and here's McKenzie now. And Roqica, just reaching for the ball. Some of these passes not flash from Woodlands. I think Marika on Geetha though, guilty then of overrunning the player and having to reach back for the pass. End result, put it to ground. We've got a scrum feed to start. It's going through a wee bit of a dull patch at the moment, the start of this half.
Oh, we're on the 5, yep.
Great thing about being on sideline, you get to see the changes in body language. When they're taking the shot at goal, Woodlands were bristling, Star where their shoulders were slumped, they thought 3 points was given away. Suddenly there's a perk in their step.
Yes, they might be thinking the Stars are starting to align for themselves.
Touch. Set.
There's scrum feed, big scrum from Woodlands. They've made it very uncomfortable for Star, but Mark McHugh, showing all his experience, steps off the back with the ball tucked in under his wing, sets it up for the team. Woodlands coming through, and knock-on's the call. Might have been Andrew McIntosh that was diving through there.
Be worried about the scrum situation though for Star. We did see Woodlands perform similarly in the semi-finals, but not for every scrum. Occasionally they got caught out, but we're not seeing much counter thrust from Star at the moment. They look to be just scrambling the ball out and hoping for the best.
Yeah, that seems to be the occasion. I think the last 20 minutes of this encounter, you'll really see Woodlands start to put it to them. You can feel it building, and this will get a great shot of this.
Crouch.
No exception, I'd say. Woodlands will be starting to feel as if they've got the foot on the throat. Come scrum time. There's another big one from Woodlands, and it's come loose. Taylor Adams, not many options, and he's just had to fire the ball back to Batiru. Does well to retrieve it. Keeps it tidy for Star, and they win the penalty. So well done, Afi Batiru.
You're down on the ground, not self-supporting.
And Pete Copeland, the man penalised there, going to ground.
Yeah. Got to be up and self-supporting.
Well, you can hear the call from referee Phil Johnson. He's having a good game. He just hasn't really been involved in the game at all, Phil. He's just letting it go. And good positive outlook. Oh, the ball's gone out in the end. I thought William Spears might have knocked that ball back into touch. Go back to that previous scrum. And the heat coming on from Woodlands. Taylor Adams just pops that ball back. Luckily, Afi Batiru there to receive it.
Hold on.
He'd have thought, thanks, mate. He had about 4 or 5 Woodlands jerseys honing in on him, but they didn't hold their feet at the breakdown. Give away the penalty. Dan Dowling goes up, takes two-handed. Adams to Soper. Billy Soper's wrestled to ground. Clean ball. Vaiinga. Batiru. Batiru just gets smacked in a big one by Jamie McIntosh. He's put straight to ground. And Tumata goes to walk that ball up a bit further. Billy Soper's still down in the background. He's not looking happy, Billy Soper. May just be cramp. He's pulling at the foot, so it may not be that serious a start. Just drive it up for a wee bit. Andrew Rutledge hits it up. So Star. Good field position now. They're inside the Woodlands 22. They haven't been there in this half.
Guess two.
Now they get there. And with clean ball and big numbers, big chance here for Star. Tim Cornforth takes it on his own, makes 2 or 3 metres. May have been better to let that go. He had big numbers on the outside of him. They're still there. Star gets, Taylor Adams gets hit in a good tackle by Marty McKenzie, and he's lost the ball forward.
Hold there, guys.
It wasn't Marty McKenzie, it was Alex Taylor with a terrific tackle. Now we've got a couple of players down on the ground, 3 Star players down.
Yes.
The white player on the ground, heading in towards Lashy over there.
Blue footed.
Blue 4.
Yeah.
And when they're on the ground, he's standing over and hits them on the ground. So.
Hit him on the ground. How bad? Penalty or?
Or a good chance for Star to plan their next attack,
Righto.
because as you say, precious little time down the centre of the field since the second half
Righto.
started.
Cool.
So if they can get points
Andrew,
from their first
Blue
incursion
4.
into the 22,
Blue
it'll
4.
do wonders for their morale.
Yes, the ball looks like they're getting a
Report
penalty
over
out of
here.
that. Just
Who's
listen
gonna
to
go on the
the
ground?
assistant referee Kurt Ray coming on.
Go on the ground.
Going
Do
to
it again in the
penalise
morning, okay? It's just a penalty at the
Marika
moment.
Rongeitha for hitting a player
Lot
on
of
the
stuff
ground.
going on at the moment. It's a team warning.
So
It's a team
all
warning.
that good
yes.
work from Alex Taylor undone
Yes,
here,
and a
as
team
we're going to
warning
go
as
back
well.
for a
Too much
penalty.
stuff going. So
And in a very kickable position too, I'd imagine.
15.
Yeah, on the 15-metre mark.
Hang on.
And about
Hang
18
on.
metres out.
No. Haven't blown it on yet.
There's no way they're going to have a quick tap. Sure
Punch.
not.
Have a shot,
Yeah,
eh?
I would imagine they'll have a shot at this,
Have
all
a
right.
shot.
Clock's just whizzing by. 12 minutes into this second half already. No points scored. Still 10 apiece. A great opportunity here for Pele Tuolangi to put Star in front. Woodlands had their opportunity about 5 minutes earlier with the Marty McKenzie miss in a very handy position. So Pele Tuolangi takes to this game a very big kick. Put his team in front, score them first points in the second half. And does a beautiful job of it, Tuolangi, straight down the middle.
Yes, took a long time overlining that up and really thinking through the trajectory, and shows how crucial that 3 points could prove to be.
Yes, we're just going back now to look at the replay of the Rongeitha, just been held on to. It was Dan Dowling, no, it was Dan Dowling, just holding him down, and that's why he let strip with one. A bit hard done by then, Rongeitha, but certainly a penalty for hitting. No problem with that. Dan Dowling receives the kick-off, takes it up nicely, so 13 points to 10. Star leading over Woodlands, 2013 Galba Shield final. And it's going to be a right to the wire game here today at Rugby Park. It's straight down the throat of Warwick Lynn, Marty McKenzie.
Keep going, Blue. Keep
Comes
going.
across, I think he may have overcooked this. Oh no, perfect.
Right on the
Quick throw's been taken. Taylor Adams brings it back and doesn't make such a flash job of that. Actually, that's worked out best for Woodlands. In fact, had they not had the quick throw, Star would have had the line out throw. But now Woodlands have the throw. So perfectly timed kick by Marty McKenzie. See here, Adams. It's the second time today he's just skewered one off the side of the boot, and you can see he's not happy. Telling the ball to fly. But it didn't. Rongeitha gets up, slaps it back to Rangatauriri, and just passes to no man's land. Willis Hello goes up.
Release, White.
Takes the tackle in the midfield, sets the ball up beautifully. Options are not there for Rangatauriri. So he just asks Pete Copeland to take it up till he can get something constructed. And Marty McKenzie on the run, pops up a beautiful ball. Ben Warden just loses his footing. Ben Warden finds Gabriel Pickering. He's got about 5 Star players in front of him, so he's going nowhere.
No, White.
Gets put to ground, ball not coming quick.
Roll right.
Rangatauriri looking for it, and
Get out of there with 2.
the reason it wasn't coming quick is a quick penalty, and Rangatauriri with the touch. Adam Muir, he's been caught offside here. They're going to buy themselves another 10 metres here, Woodlands. They're going to carry on with it and play the advantage. Some quick ball.
Hold.
Game starting to speed up now.
Advantage.
25 minutes left to go.
White.
Woodland's going forward about 7 or 8 metres out, still in possession. Rangatoa Reri, another one that just goes to ground, bobbling around. It's been picked up by Nick Barrett. Gabriel Pickering. It's got very untidy here for Woodlands in the midfield, but the advantage was still being played, so we're back for the penalty.
10 metres.
What do we do here, Tom? Kick for the corner, kick for goal. Tom's come undone down there. You'll see him just to the left-hand side of where Marty McKenzie's about to kick this, so that's just answered my question. Woodland's looking to win this game. They're not interested in a draw.
Front for me.
Back to the break down the end. You can just see the star players coming into the side. Might have been Adam Muir again, who actually give away the penalty and then give away the 10 metres there. Back to the action. Line out throw. Ron Geether takes up. It's untidy. Rangatoa Reri. Brilliant skills. Takes it in. Finds Alex Taylor. Gabriel Pickering.
There, Blue.
He's wanting to be involved with everything at the moment. Gabriel Pickering comes in off his wing. Right down the centre and the ball's been stripped clear. And Taylor Adams with open spaces inside him, but Rangatoa Reri gets across. He marks his opposite beautifully and takes him to ground on the 22-metre line. So Star not been able to get out of that. I thought they'd got away with it. Adams had a lot of open spaces in front of him. The ball's been kicked down the throat of Gabriel Pickering. He's going to put it in field. So there's a chance here for Woodlands if they go wide quick enough. And they do. Hello, Hollow. Just one step too far. Needed to get rid of that ball a bit quicker. Jamie McIntosh picks it up. Does well.
Hands wide.
They tidy it up. They're playing loose rugby today, Woodlands. Normally very constructive. They're opening things up. Rangatoa Reri, another wee kick over the top. There's a good chase this time. Marty McKenzie coming through, along with William Spears, who William Spears ends up making the tackle on Taylor Adams, pushes him into touch. So Woodlands starting to put Star to the sword inside their own 22. The points aren't coming though.
He's playing with enough confidence, though, to turn down those shots at goal. So they feel they've got the squeeze on at the moment, and you'd have to say they do. But the 3-point margin that Star are enjoying at the moment, they'll protect with their lives.
This Andrew McIntosh, great two-handed take. A chance again for Woodlands. This defence for Star is rushing up, getting right in the face of Woodlands. William Spears just lets the ball loose. Good advantage was being played. I think they knew that, Woodlands.
Numbers.
For the numbers is a big advantage for a free kick.
Positive, I counted. Numbers.
Surely tempted now to take the points and just...
It's only a free kick, Tom. So
it is, yep.
They may opt for a scrum.
Scrum.
William Spears is down. So Rahui Kapini will be warming up on the sideline. Busting to get out there. Galbert Shield final. Yeah, I think the scrum's going to be called all right by the look of the formation of that, Tom.
Okay, push scrum.
We're almost at that three-quarter mark. There's Gareth William Spears. Runs his injury off, so he's fine. Still have a spring in the step.
Crouch.
So vital scrum for Woodlands. They need it tidy. They've got them all to the left-hand side. No one on the blind. That's the way they're going to go. So they're going to fill up the midfield. Hello, Hollow. Brings Penn Warden in. Penn Warden just brushes off Fainga. Makes that slight break. The good numbers there. McIntosh on the charge. Taken in a good tackle. Driving over top there, Woodlands. Ball's been lost forward there by Stark. And it's been picked up as Nick Barrett gets close to the line. They're only a couple of metres out now, Woodlands. Ron Geether. All but there. He's about an inch or two short. Maybe just held up over the line. They're trying to get it clear. Woodlands believe they've scored it. And Phil Johnson said, yes, you have. So a try. May have been Pete Copeland. But Woodlands showing all the tenacity in the world close to the line, and it is Pete Copeland. Real workhorse, Pete Copeland. Gets over and scores a try for Woodlands.
Well, they backed themselves for the last 10 minutes just to keep attacking until the breach came. It was a near run thing. It was right in front. Ball being grounded, but the referee in great spot. So no question, no contest either from the Star players. They know they've conceded 5.
Yes, so you can see the body language of the Woodlands players as we see on the Ale House replay there. And you'll see Pete Copeland come in here. And let's just get that shunt over there. And all the arms go in the air here shortly. And they're Adam Indy had scored. There it is, just there to the blind side. Yep. And as you mentioned, Tom, no objection from the Star players. And for the first time in the game, Woodlands have hit the front. It's taken 3/4 of the game for them to get there. 2 tries to 1 at this stage. And we've got another nail biter on our hands. These Star boys, they'll be far from giving up. They know they've got game breakers out there galore. Just got to get their hands on the ball. It's Marty McKenzie. Seen him knock over a very difficult conversion. That's a very easy penalty. Now he's back to another difficult conversion to attempt. And he makes it look easy. Straight down the middle, Marty McKenzie, and that's put Woodlands out to 17 points to 13 lead. The interesting part of that is it's got them out to 4 points, so the penalties don't come into it now. Star need to score either 2 penalties or a try to get their nose back in front. And that's without Woodlands scoring again. This is a real tight one. And just as we wait for the restart, I'll quickly get in because I would never want to forget one of the most valuable members of the team is their sponsors. We must thank Donaldson Construction, Sono Sound Systems, United Scaffolding, the Invercargill Licensing Trust, all coming on board with QTV. Bring you Club South and Wide Club Rugby here on QTV every weekend. And it's all come down to this, the Galba Shield final. This is the big one for the season. And I thought it might have been a penalty, but just a scrum feed. And we've got Woodlands leading 17 points to 13 over Star, 10 all at half time. Then Star put their nose in front, 13-10. Woodlands now back in front.
White scrum.
We're going to see a seesaw in the lead again. Bubba Luisi back out on there. And Dallins, it's one of the Lucy's that's gone missing. Tamatu is still there. Just pick up who that is. Billy Soper it is that's gone. So when he was down before, it must have been more than cramped. You can see Billy Soper sitting on the reserve bench. Callum Rutledge warming up. That would be a feat if he got out there, because he had a terrible leg injury that we took on QTV earlier in the season, and hopefully he's recovered 100% from it. Cardiff Waianga with a run, and Alex Taylor, who's been huge for Woodlands, has taken him in a tackle. Gee, he's put in some work today, Alex Taylor. Heard a lot about how good he's been over the years. We've never really seen the best of it due to injuries, but a big shove coming in here from Star, but it is a maul. They're going to have to do something with it, Star. Alex Taylor, has he tied it up enough? Yes, he has. So maul to ground, and you can thank Alex Taylor for that, Woodlands. He got up and smothering tackle. It wasn't actually a tackle, of course, not a tackle unless you hit the ground, but got up and killed the ball.
Yeah, it's a good effort on Star to keep that going, actually, but when they have so many bodies around the ball, virtually no chance of getting it out, so they just had to grab what territory they could and make the clearance difficult for Woodlands.
These guys have just got such strong upper bodies, you know, with all the gym work and everything, that once they get a hold of that ball, they're not going to let it go. This doesn't come out of there. And a bit of movement there.
Hey, warning, just don't push, eh?
So, of course, a change in the front row now. Adam Muir coming on for Andrew Rutledge. And just getting some attention there by Jamie McIntosh. Just getting the head on early. Just causing the scrum to move. So McIntosh will be looking to keep the weight off a wee bit earlier, at least until the ball's feared this time.
Crouch! Touch! Sit! Let's go.
Very soft scrum. And easily won by Woodlands. Gets out to Marty McKenzie. He'll put this as far down the paddock as he can. And he does. Doesn't find touch though. Gavin Cartmell hasn't had a lot to do in the last 10 minutes. Finally gets the ball and takes it up, but he's caught on halfway or just over the Woodlands side of halfway. Taylor Adams coming in, trying to direct his backs. He wants someone out there. Clean recipient, and it's Mark McHugh that takes the ball, and Ron Geether. It's a real live wire. It's Fijian lock. There's Waianga, Cardiff Waianga. He's been a standout for Star. Just keeps busting up the middle of that paddock. Tim Cornforth looking for some space. Is this the break that he's looking for? He's beat 2-3 men. Gets pulled to ground by Pete Copeland.
Ball's on the ground.
Sets the ball up, so it's clean ball here for Star. Taylor Adams puts a wee chip kick in behind, and it's been missed by Gabriel Pickering. Eventually tidied up by Warwick Lynn. He puts it down the paddock, and Pele Tuolangi looking into the sun takes it brilliantly. Here's a look, see what his options were.
Keep going.
Puts it straight up. He's got a lot of players in front of him.
No.
Risky play as William Spears comes up, puts it to ground. Starman all over top of it. And Daniel Dowling.
No, he's fine. Play on.
No, hands on was the call. Thought he may have come around from the side. Warwick Lynn scrambling
No,
around. So sun coming out. You can see the shine on Rugby Park here today. Clouds starting to disappear.
Use it.
There's the ball. It's coming slowly and all not quick enough. You've got to use it call.
I said it's 5 seconds. No.
And Jason Rutledge and Jamie McIntosh telling Phil Johnson where he may have erred.
I gave you, I'll use it, please.
I like to in games of poise like this, Jim, with a 4-point gap, because it really takes the referee out of the equation. It means the players have to decide the game themselves by scoring a try. And I think for that you're going to get a better 10 minutes, 15 minutes, where there's going to be some adventuresome rugby.
Yes, you did right, Tom. And there's 15 minutes left in the game now. There's a 65-minute mark just ticked up on the clock. And when you get inside that last 10, Star will know they'll have to score a try. So Woodlands will defend for all their life's worth.
Both gone down.
Scrum starting to come untidy, just a wee bit untidy now.
Fine, Dave. Fine.
A couple of new men on, Bubba Luisi on locking and Adam Muir on the front row. No changes yet for the Woodlands team, other than the early change of Shannon Carpini when Pete Copeland went on and has managed to score a try in the process.
Crouch.
Taylor Adams.
Touch.
It's been a great battle between these two halfbacks today, Tom. You can barely split them. Adams, Tuolangi to Mana Harrison and Marty McKenzie with a great tackle. Who's in there at the assist? Sonny Rangatawareri. Bubba Luisi is taken to ground by Andrew McIntosh, and Jamie McIntosh doing brilliant work on his feet, trying to rip that ball clear. Very unlucky not to get the ball, but Star in good position. They take it up again. Josh Becuis, he's done a power of work today as well. Keeps working that ball forward at the 10-metre mark. They'll be looking for a penalty here somewhere. Start. They're in a kickable position now. Discipline's been good from Woodlands the last 10 minutes.
No, blind on the ground.
Looking to see where these gaps are in this Woodlands defence. There's a couple appeared early in the game. Mark McHugh, he tries to find one. Eventually gets taken to ground after making a good 7 or 8 metres. Now Taylor Adams shows he's going to run and gets hit, but he's bought the penalty, Taylor Adams, so he's done well. He's caught Woodlands offside. We're going to come back here. So Start, they know they can chance their arm a bit here. It's not happening, but we've got the penalty directly in front.
Yeah, clever play by Adams then. He ran, he was having a look to see if he could just chip it into the corner and made the right decision to draw in those defenders. And although I don't know whether they have a shot at goal. Yes, they will. I suppose that opens the door for a late penalty or a drop goal. So with this time remaining, a sensible option, I think.
Yes, we've got an injured Jason Rutledge making his way to the sideline as well. Whether or not he's just getting attention, he's not looking happy the way he's carrying that arm. But a successful kick here from Pale Tuolangi really opens this game up again, like you mentioned, Tom. Comes down to field position then to try and buy a penalty, and Jason Rutledge not looking happy as he comes to the side. So young Ryan Carter gets on. He's going to get the last quarter of an hour of the Galbraith Shield final. Very good young footballer, Ryan Carter. Big future ahead of him. Young hooker, played a lot of rugby for Southland Boys High. And he'll be fair busting to get out there. Tuolangi with a good kick, a very good kick. And Pale Tuolangi.
It's all on now, Jim.
She's been on for about 65 minutes, I think, Tom. But Pale Tuolangi has really stepped up today. Everything he's done's turned to gold. He's been terrific on defence. He's taken his options well, and his goal kicking's been bang on. Marty McKenzie, he'll be looking to get this as high as he can as the sun pours into the eyes of these star players. Daniel Dowling does terrifically well, takes the ball up. Just gets to the 22-metre line, though, as Woodlands come in, putting pressure on Mark McHugh. Now it's up to these big players from Star, the big name players, like this man here, Tim Cornforth. Breaks the ball back down the paddock. Rui Karpini's on there now, so there's been a couple of changes for Woodlands. Gets the ball across. Warwick Linnon's open spaces here, and a good chase coming from Gabriel Pickering. Gets Mana Harrison, dancing around, and Mana Harrison does particularly well until Michael Gallatley gets a hold of him, but he did well to just keep that ball in the play. Driving play coming in here from Woodlands. Star still in possession though. They take the ball up. They go again. Mark McHugh hits it up. Another drive coming forward. Jeremy Beckwith this time. Right in the thick of it all day, Jeremy Beckwith. Hardly seen his head above waist height. As Ryan Carter gets his first touch of the ball and just puts it to the ground. He's lost it forward, unfortunately. That'll be the nerves out of the system now for Ryan Carter, because now you're going to be introduced into a scrum. That may be what he was looking for.
Yeah, I can't be surprised to be a bit nervous, because he's replacing one of the big name players, of course, Jason Rutledge, the last player that Woodlands would like to lose when the game is so tentatively poised. So a crucial scrum, I use that word too often actually, an important scrum, because it's one area that Woodlands has dominated.
Yes, I don't think they'll give up much with Ryan Carter being there in the scrum. Very good scrummager. So they'll be looking for a big one here, Woodlands. Got a fair idea they'll be twisting this to the right-hand side just to cut down the options to start. No, they managed to get it clean all the same start. So Tuolangi, it's Carter firing it, comes in, gets nowhere. He's been well wrapped up in the second half, Carter firing it. They've been on top of him the whole game, Woodlands. They're still getting clean possession. It's been good ball from the star forward pack today. Taylor Adams, he'll be enjoying what he's got going on in front of him. They've been putting in a power of work and presenting clean ball. Pale Tuolangi, as I mentioned, everything he touches turns to gold. This time he puts it down to Warwick Lynn. Nice high kick, Warwick Lynn. And Mana Harrison underneath it. And unfortunately for Mana Harrison, bobbles the ball into touch, and that's a very rare mistake for Mana Harrison.
Right in front of the Woodlands bench too, you have to say. You feel sorry for him. He was under pressure, and looking at the sun too, so that was no easy catch.
Yes, you can see by the shots on screen, for those of you that are watching just solely on QTV today that weren't at Rugby Park, the sun is really starting to beat down now, and you can see how dark the shadows are. Very difficult for the star players looking into it. Woodlands, Andrew McIntosh. Captain's takes it in two hands and sets it up. Woodlands still in front, 17 points to 16, just a 1 point lead. And what else would you expect?
I think I can rule out the draw option.
Yes, I think that's as good as gone. And Rongeitha goes forward. So Woodlands now, they're getting to that territory they want to try and buy a penalty. Marty McKenzie brings Hello in. Hello just haven't been able to make that crucial break up the centre yet that you'd expect from him, a player of his class trying to bust through. But when you look at the pairing that he's up against, a very classy pairing themselves, both these back lines, terrific on defence. There we go again. There's Willis. Hello. Maybe this time. Hello. Goes wide, finds Pickering. Leaves him with very little room though. Pickering with just inches down the sideline to play with. Does well to keep it alive. Penn Warden comes in. Plays halfback. Gets the ball up. Andrew McIntosh gets one away to Pete Copeland, who keeps going forward. So good go forward ball here from Woodlands. They've got momentum up. Ryan Carter to McKenzie. Marty McKenzie. All but there, McKenzie. Woodlands 2 or 3 metres out. Starting to drive towards the line. Andrew McIntosh goes to puck it up. Just gets left behind, and Ryan Carter.
Is there a penalty advantage there, Jim, I think?
Yes, I think there is. I don't think they're going to need it, though, somehow, and they don't. Warwick Lynn. Was that Sven Penn Warden? Oh, sorry, I just picked that up. I've lost them in the sun. No, it's Warwick Lynn, the try scorer. Definitely Warwick Lynn over for a try for Woodlands, and they need that.
Well, it's going to come down to Marty's kick, isn't it? If he's successful, you'd have to say Star's day may be done. But what a try. They have certainly dominated the second half. Star have held on grimly, but just in these dying stages, I think their legs are getting heavy. Making those big tackles, they just slipped off too many.
Warwick Lynn pumps it down over that line, as we just picked up on the House replay, and you could see the delight of his teammates. Warwick Lynn gets up with the chest pumped out. He knew how important that try was. And as you mentioned, Tom, they were playing advantage, but I'm quite sure they'll take the 5 over the 3 any day.
Right.
It's an important one here for McKenzie. About 6 minutes left on the clock.
I'll give you a call on this one because of its criticality. Has missed
Well, he's left them with the sniff, Mackenzie. So Star still with a show. 22 points to 16, 6 points in it. Converted try wins them the game.
Well, they did not trudge back to halfway start. They just saw that go astray and know that they have a half chance.
And I've seen before when Star got up with the Greg Saunders try 3 years ago.
It still haunts you, doesn't it, Jim?
Yes, it does. No, it was 2011. It was only 2 years ago when the game was safe and in the pocket for Woodlands, and Star got up with a try in the last minute of the game, and the ball's been lost forward there by Roqica. Big opportunity here for Star. They're right in the middle of the paddock. They've got advantage to be played, so they can chance their arm. Carter Fainga goes looking for a gap, but it's not there. We'll go back for the scrum all the same. Knocked on by Roqica. Scrum time.
They'll be very happy with the scrum. Look where it is.
Yes, clean ball is what they're going to need first and foremost. Woodlands will do everything in their power to disrupt this one. Must compliment Star. Really, when you do the analysis before the game, you think that the real strength for this Woodlands team would have been in that scrum, but Star have stood up. Woodlands have not walked all over them at any stage of it today, but there's some big boys there for that Star team, and Mark McHugh, even when they've had a difficult scrum, he's done particularly well and tidy that ball up. As we see here, good ball, McHugh, Taylor Adams. So on the ball's just been thrown loose. Tragic for Star. Yeah, the Woodland supporters starting to get very vocal now. They were cheering that pass.
Oh, Jim, since you and I have shared the commentaries, I think we should share the responsibility of naming our Northern Tavern Player of the Final.
No, don't be a cop-out. You get that job on your own.
Okay, then I'll do it. I was letting you say, but if you don't want it.
Oh, there's too many, Tom. There's been quite a few of it. It was in the back of my mind. I was marching through it, but there's been a lot of players put their hand up. And Andrew McIntosh, talking about putting your hands up, he goes up with a two-handed take for his team, takes the ball in nicely, and Sonny Rangatawareri testing Mana Harrison. He doesn't make the same mistake twice. He takes it beautifully this time. Once again, another one of those stray passes. Afi Batiru, they haven't used him enough today, Afi Batiru. You'll probably mention that after the game. He's had a terrific season, but ball just hasn't gone his way today, and Jeremy Beckwith bobbles with the ball, takes it in all the same, so he does well, Beckwith, just to hold on to that. Difficult conditions for Star at the moment, the sun in their eyes, although it's perfect playing conditions, ground in good condition, no wind. We go again, big Bubba Luisi goes to hit it up. Andrew McIntosh takes him down.
On the ground.
He's been rock solid today, Andrew McIntosh, the captain for Woodlands. He's been into everything. Pale, Tuolangi tries to buy some space. Penn Morden takes him down and gets up. He's not happy, Penn Morden, he's limping. Taylor Adams, here's across the paddock. He's looking for anything that's going to happen. Oh, high shots to call, so we've got a penalty coming to start. This is probably where they can really chance their arm. Let's try something out of the ordinary. Tim Cornforth. Cornforth gets taken to ground. Comes again. Are they going to run the advantage out here, Star? I do believe they're probably still playing under advantages. Josh Beckwith takes it off, tries to crawl along the ground to gain an extra couple of metres. He does so. Comes up to Bubba Luisi. Just surges forward. They're still in their own half, though, Star. They need to get into that Woodlands half. They want to get themselves into a position where they can kick to the corner if a penalty comes. Woodlands doing well. They're tying the ball up, clock ticking away. There's only a couple of minutes left. So it's racing by now. Woodlands doing their utmost in defence, and scrum feed to Star. So we're at that crucial time, Tom. We've only got a couple of minutes left on the clock.
I'm actually going to leave it to the last second, because I think in a final has to be someone who's influenced the outcome in favour of the team winning. And at the moment, looking at those inside backs of both sets of teams, both half-backs have had comparable games. Pale Tuolangi, you mentioned on numerous occasions. Carter Vaenga, huge game when they had ball. He's been sort of cancelled out a little bit latterly. And then Marty McKenzie, of course, has directed play well for Woodlands inside Sonny Oranga-Te-Herere. And Sterling worked from the front row too. Woodlands have dominated that scrum, kept them very much in the game. But yes, if this game goes with the Woodlands winning, I'm going to go with Marty McKenzie. And if I'm right, Jim, I think he might have been man of the match last year.
Yeah, I think he was, actually. You're dead right.
That doesn't eliminate you, though, does it? Shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't. No, definitely won't. And you'd be right in that. But We may see a Herculean effort here from someone from Star. As I mentioned, that Tim Cornforth, you're letting me down, buddy. I have not seen that break yet. Is this it? Carter Foyinga on the burst. An advantage coming. Carter Foyinga gets the legs pumping. Star coming in, so they've still got a show. Couple of minutes left in the game. There's advantage being played here as Bubba Luisi takes it in. So here's the penalty. Do they kick for the corner? You've got Josh Beckius in your team.
Binding 7.
And I can tell you this, Jim, if Star
No,
get
they've
up
gone the quick tap. Sorry, Tom.
No, carry on.
So Taylor Adams opted for the quick tap. He's trying to get Woodlands on the back foot. They come driving in over top of the Star. They can't make a mistake. They've got to get down to the corner. Inside ball. Andrew McHugh's now on the paddock. He takes it forward. The change is coming. Jeremy Beckius tries to drive it up. Woodlands tackling like their life depends upon it. And it almost does. It's the Galba Shield that is on the line here. Have they got a turnover? No. Taylor Adams comes in. How many times have we mentioned his name today? It's been used. Tim Cornforth hit. Taken to ground immediately. Can't make that break. Woodlands content to make the tackles. Clock ticking away. We're just on full time. Star. No one leaving the ground. They know this hangs in the balance, this game. A converted try here for Star. Josh Beckius. Josh Beckius on the break. He's got inside the 22-metre mark, Josh Beckius. They start to barrel in over top. Star, Mark McHugh. Takes it up the centre. They got to the middle of the paddock. We're up to the 80-minute mark.
Mark McHugh's been fantastic also.
There's the hooter gone. Tamatumata. So the whistle's gone. It is definitely full time. Next mistake. Woodlands trying to drive over top of this. They may have tied it up. I think they've won themselves the Galba Shield in doing so. And they have. Woodlands have won out the victors 22 points to 16. And they have broken the hoodoo. 19 years since any team has won back-to-back Galba Shields. And Woodlands have done it in nail-biting fashion. And they've done it deservedly, Tom.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, a superior second half. It took them a while to get into this game, but once they took control, they just denied Star the ball, and those backs that are so dangerous for Star just never got any fluency in the second half. They tried to make things on the back foot, and they just couldn't turn the game around, but they hung in right to the very last minute. They had a chance of winning this game, and those forwards, people like Mark McHugh, they just drove them forward and kept them pressing and pressing and pressing, but Woodland's defence was also strong. So coupled with a couple of fine sweeping attacking moves, they've deservedly won the Shield this year.
Yes, they do, and it's the 3 tries to 1, the telling factor at the end, and it's that defensive Woodlands that stood to them all season, and it's got them home today. They took on a very gallant Star team. The pitch has painted 1,000 words as you've seen the Star players strewn on the ground. Congratulations to the Northern Tavern Player of the Day, Marty McKenzie. Deserve it. Player of the Day. So many of them put their hand up today from both sides. So they go up to congratulate each other on a terrific grand final, and Galbraith Shield champions Woodlands. You can see both teams exhausted. They really put it on the line today and right down to the wire as per usual. But one of the biggest winning margins, 6 points. It has been the biggest winning margin, believe it or not, even in a cliffhanger like that. In the last 6 encounters between these two teams, and that's the biggest scoreline. And Woodlands, you wouldn't call it a blowout. 22 points to 16 with Star hot on attack in the dying stages of that game. And they've got away with the victory, Woodlands, and they've gone back to back. They've broken the hoodoo, and it's been around 19 years since any team has done it. And congratulations to Damien Pine and Stu Brown, Richard Smith, the manager. They'll be stoked with the team. And once I get a call from Tom, we'll head downstairs and we'll get a quick word from Andrew McIntosh. You there, Tom?
It's a really hard fought victory. The second half turned the whole game around.
Oh yeah, we just knew that we had to get down there and play territory. Like, we put ourselves under a fair bit of pressure in the first half, but like in the end, like a ton of guts from the boys. At the end, just a D up. I'm so wrapped. They proud of the lads.
Were you a bit nervous in the last 5 minutes, sort of outside that?
Yeah, like we wanted. Those kicks were pretty crucial. Would have taken the pressure off a wee bit, but having said that, like as I said, like I knew that the boys would be able to do it. So keep the hands out, no penalties, and back our D, and it's worked for us all year, and it worked again today, so we're happy as.
And a good platform up front. You slowly got dominance in the front 5.
Yeah, like we knew that we could probably tire them out, and it showed probably near the end. They started to get a wee bit slow on it, so, oh mate, just happy.
And slotting that get it right.
Oh yeah, definitely takes the pressure off.
Congratulations.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks, Tom, and congratulations to Andrew McIntosh and his team. They'll make the way on towards this medal ceremony and the presentation of the Galba Shield. Hopefully Tom can get across and maybe get a word from Mark McHugh. I know he'll be absolutely gutted. It means so much to him, these Galba Shield competitions, the final, and what he would love to do. But we've got Marty McKenzie now. I think Tom's grabbed him. So, of course, Northern Tavern Player of the Day. So we'll go back down to you when you're ready, Tom. And we have Marty McKenzie in attendance.
Well, Marty, I think it's 2 years in a row you won the Northern Tavern Player of the Day. So congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you very much. Again, probably a lot of players, especially Alex Taylor in his 50th, was pretty unreal out there today, especially on his defence and all over the park. That boys fought on well at the end there and got away with the win.
And kicked some crucial goals to those couple from the sideline. They made a big difference in the end.
Yeah, that last one was, I think, probably the most crucial one of the whole game, and I missed it. But yeah, a few things to work on there, but pretty happy to get the win.
It took a while for Woodlands to get into this game, though, didn't it? So on the back foot, they made a lot of breaks in that first half.
Yeah, they did. It was kind of seesaw for a little bit. We made that big break at the start with Sonny, and they kind of got the momentum again, and we struggled to get it back for a while. But in these kinds of games, the momentum swings either way for the majority of the game. So we're sure, and then we get a little bit of momentum and we can keep.
Yeah, for most of that 40, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Played outstanding second half. They really did give us some front ball. The likes of our midfielders over the game line really well, and then our outsides tried to finish it off, and it was pretty good.
And a good combination, you and Sonny, you coming together, works well.
Yeah, we've been playing together for about 3 years now, so we're starting to know what each does, and it's good.
All right, enjoy this and set sail for the ITM Cup in a couple of weeks.
So, I think I'm pretty excited.
Thanks, Marty. I see Marty will make that team, Jim.
I dare say, well, yeah, of course, the announcement of the Stags team tomorrow. If you're watching this on QTV on the Sunday edition, of course, the announcement would have been today. But we're just going to go down there. They're just about to start the presentations down there. We'll just wait till we see what they're doing with that, and then we'll get back to it. But it's been a terrific effort by Woodlands, and I'm glad that Marty actually pointed to the performance of number 7 today, Alex Taylor, in his 50th game. He truly was outstanding. And we've just got Mark McHugh now, the two captains, talking. I don't know if we can pick this up. They've got the ground microphone as opposed to the QTV one. So I do apologise for talking over top of you, Mark, as you're making your presentation speech. But no, we're not going to pick that up. But yeah, congratulations to Alex Taylor. Absolutely mammoth effort today in his 50th game. As Marty says on defence, he was outstanding. So was that man on screen, Jamie McIntosh. It is the defence of that Woodlands team that stood to them all year. They do have some big name players in the team, but it's their defence that has won them the Galba Shield of 2013 as the star team of a very, very good team. As you've seen, Taylor Adams was huge. Pale Tuolangi, he really stood up today. He was on song all game, and some really good outside backs. The Mana Harrisons, the Carter Foyingas, Tim Cornforce, Gavin Cartmell playing a great game on the outside. Afi Pateru not getting involved today as much as we've seen him throughout the season, just the way the play going against him, but that's the way it goes. It was the defence of Woodlands that got them through. As you can see, a sun-baked Rugby Park today. Beautiful playing conditions for the boys, and the sun coming out in the second half. And Mark McHugh just thanking his team for a big season. He's really had to call upon everything, him and Craig Pullett this year. Some days they've even worried whether they're going to front up with the team. So congratulations, Mark. It's still been a great season for you. He's still got one more thing to say. He goes back. He's not finished with yet. And there's the Woodlands boys on screen. We'll be waiting to get their hands on that Galba Shield and lift it aloft. There's quite a few of them have returned from last year. They've been here before, or 2 years ago, last year, and back in 2010 when they'd won it previous. A number of players have been around for 3 or 4 years now on this Woodlands team, and it'll be the third Galba Shield for some of them, maybe even more than that for others. I know the likes of Jason Rutledge and Jamie McIntosh been around for a number of Galba Shield victories. Just have Don Hayes now about to ask Andrew McIntosh to come forward. Dejected star team. Let's congratulate Josh Beckwith for fronting up the semi-finals and finals. He must be a very tired man after his Super 15 campaign with the Highlanders. Don Hayes Just making a speech out there. I do apologise, as I mentioned, we haven't got the connection to the speakers on that. So we can't take in the speeches for you here on QTV, but we'll have Tom talking very shortly with Mark McHugh. Having spoken with Andrew McIntosh, we'll watch the presentation of the Galbraith Shield, and hopefully he can grab a word with a dejected Mark McHugh. I'm sure he'd be upset by the result, but he'd have to be very proud with his team, the way they fronted a 6-point loss here today and still in with a big chance right till the dying minutes. So Woodlands, a lot of young players in there making their way up. I know young Ryan Carter come on late in the game. First touch of the ball, he put the ball down, but he certainly made up for it late in the piece, heavily involved in that try to Warwick Lynn. They wrestled the ball clear from that breakdown. So a lot of young blood coming through here in the Southland team. In the Woodlands team in the Southland area. Well, there's the presentation of the shield to Andrew McIntosh. He passes the ball on. As we see him on screen, good to see a smile on his face. I'm sure the nerves for that Woodlands team were there going into this game. Hot favourite, they try and downplay that tag as any team would. And when you went through the two teams today, it was probably rightfully so downplaying it. That Star team, when you go man for man, were just about as good as the Woodlands team. And by just about, I think the final result said they weren't quite. So Woodlands a better team, definitely throughout the season and on the day. But they didn't deserve any sort of hot favourite tag today.
Just mentioning the crowd today, we didn't mention the crowd numbers. A good turnout today, given club rugby. You know, sometimes people think there's not much interest as the past. But 1,000 here today, and they were treated to a great game of rugby, no matter who they were supporting. So I think pat on the back for turning out on this big occasion.
You did right, Tom, and they got very vocal in the last quarter of an hour too. They bought into the game, and why not? It was such a terrific game that the players put on for us. And good to see that a great game of rugby was well patronised.
All right, we're going to get the presentation of the shield and get the hoo-ha that goes with that. I don't want to before we take in Mark McHugh. So just bear with us, because this is Woodland's big moment. They've earned it, and they deserve all the accolades that they're going to get from now until the start of next season.
There's Woodlands now just waiting for that moment where they get together and raise the shield as a team. And Sonny Rangatawariri, he's keen to be a part of it. Very dominant figure out there on the paddock today. He had a fantastic game, Sonny Rangatawariri. Just to compliment what a wonderful season he's had. So the photographers starting to get in front of this Woodlands team now. And I know what you're going to see on the front page, or the sports page, on Monday of the Southland Times. And that'll be Woodlands, having broken the hoodoo. 19 years since any team has won the Galbraith Shield back-to-back. We're going to start bringing all the players forward and present the medals.
So times like this, Jim, too, you just really respect those guys who played every single week for Woodlands. I know there's some very good players come back from other duties, and it's not their fault they weren't available, but those guys who plied their trade week in, week out and got them to the final and to the semis deserve every bit of the same applause as the star tunes that come on later.
You did right, Tom. It was good to see the likes of Dan Hurley and Rakapini and the Blair McKenzies and them. I don't know if Blair McKenzie got on in the end, but I know Dan Hurley and Rakapini got a run, and it was a good way to thank them for the season, because them guys have been huge throughout the early start part of the season. Of course, Dan Hurley having to make way for Marty McKenzie, and you can't blame the club for that. If you can put Marty McKenzie on the paddock, you do. But Dan Hurley, early in the season, playing in different positions, playing first five, doing the goal kicking. He's had a great season for Woodlands. So, he's a worthy Galbraith Shield winner, and he'll be out there collecting his medal, and he'll know he's earned it, along with many of them other players. As you mentioned, there'll be others too that haven't even made it here today, unfortunately, for one reason or another. But they're all part of a club, and it's the club that's won the Galbraith Shield.
And a useful trial too for the Southland selectors, having the very best players on the same paddock, beating each other up. would have told Dave Henderson and co exactly what some of these players are made of and who they think can take the next step up.
Yes, it's dead right, and like Sonny Rangatoa-Riri seemed to have fallen out of favour in halfback over the last 12 months or so, but surely he's saying, have I done enough to get myself back in there? We've got Namia Kenatale and Taylor Adams playing terrifically well, but Sonny Rangatoa-Riri must be sitting there saying, if any of them two fall over, I'm right there, don't forget about me. And I've been pleased with his season. He's just so much fitter this year, and a lot of other players there are saying what they're capable of, especially some of those boys in the forward pack. There's the Woodlands now getting ready. Good family photo. There's just about as many under 3-footers there as there is players. Well dressed out too in their kit, the Woodlands juniors. All got the hoodies on. CGB was the call, Tom. I couldn't pick that what that one was. Canterbury used to have the Reuben Thorne.
Righto, Mark McHugh's not far away. He's wandering over us to now, if I get my cameraman back.
I'm sure not a speech he wants to make. Get a feel for Mark McHugh.
About it, mate. You got a second? Quick. Well, Mark, it's commiserations, but I got the feeling that if you converted maybe 2 or 3 of those line breaks in the first half, could be a completely different story.
Yeah, it was. It was actually frustrating from where I was. Cardiff was run away, 2 or 3 times actually, and just couldn't see anyone tracking with him. So it was disappointing. But we made opportunities. We were there or thereabouts, but we just too many mistakes. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't make that many mistakes in a final like this, and they didn't make those mistakes. And at the end of the day, that was the difference.
A typical Star, you just never gave up right to the last second. There was a half chance.
No, that's right. I mean, as I said to the boys after the game, it wasn't for lack of trying, and we've had a really, really rough week. Found out on Tuesday that we didn't have Braden Mitchell, our Super 14 hooker, and we tried a few things with Rugby South and to try and get another hooker in, but they kind of wouldn't wear it, so we had to put a kind of a makeshift front row together, and obviously I had to throw the ball in, which didn't help. So kind of threw everything off, threw a line out off because I had to throw. I'm not a thrower, obviously, but we hung in there, and we're always going to give that. I mean, that's all I ever ask from the boys is effort, and that's what they gave, and that's all I can ever ask. So I'm proud of them, and that Cardiff, he's a machine there, mate. He's going to do some damage this year in that NPC, and as I said, if we had some good guys tracking inside him, it could have been a different story. But guys like that really been lifting our team all year and been huge for us. So it's pleasing. It's a good year.
I thought there was a high quality game to show the rest of New Zealand. The standard of club football here is good.
No, it is. It's real good. And as I said, it's very willing out there. There's a lot of big hits. There's a lot of confrontation out there. And when you've got guys like Whopper and Cabbage and Cardiff, even Cardiff playing, and Josh Petkus playing games like this, it lifts the standard, obviously. And that's what people want to see. And so we probably don't want to see Whopper and Cabbage playing too much. But hey, look, it's a good game. They're always a good spectacle. And at the end of the day, it's mistakes, and that's what let us down.
And if it's taken 19 years to win back-to-back trophies, as they've just done, shows you how close it is at the top of the competition.
It is. I mean, it's very close. I mean, we've been in a few tussles. I think we were talking about it the other day. The last 4 or 5 years, our last game of the season's been against Woodlands, whether it be a semi or a final, and so it's a good rivalry, and may it continue. And they got the better of us today, but we'll be back. Make no mistake about it, we'll be back. And as I said, proud of the guys, proud of the effort, proud of the management and everything they've done for us all year. So we'll move on from this. We'll learn from it. As I said, you just can't make those mistakes. And at the end of the day, it's mistakes and defence that win these things. And unfortunately, we're probably on the wrong side of the eras today. So
I think we should roll out a good rugby cliche: unfinished business, especially for you. You'll be back to lead the side.
Well, I have to go back and talk to the wife about that one. But it's getting tougher and tougher each year. But I'd like to see us get a big new crop of guys in. Maybe even come off the bench if I could. But if they need me, I'll play. That's usually my motto. And if I'm feeling energetic about it and I'm getting nervous for games like this, it means I still want to be there and I've still got something to lose. So as I said to the guys before the game, a lot of them are very nervous. You could see a lot of young guys in our team. I said, if you're nervous, it means you've got something to lose, and so you still feel it. So I think I'll be back. I'm not 100% yet, Tom, to be honest, but it's been a good ride anyway. I've been playing for this team for 12 years, and every year we've been at least in the semis. So if that statistic falls off the perch, I might call it quits. But if we're still going good, I'll play, and if we've still got a good team that can front, it's good fun. I like it.
Well, bad luck today. Thanks for the contribution to a wonderful game of rugby today to conclude the season here.
Yeah, thanks, Tom, and thanks to QTV. You guys do a great job of covering the games, and appreciate it again. Thank you very much. Cheers, mate. All the best. Thanks, mate.
You can see why they hold that guy in so much respect for a runners-up speech like that. What a terrific performance for Mark McHugh to front like that. I know he must be feeling absolutely gutted running second in the Galway Shield, but he certainly didn't show it. And it just shows mark of the man, really. And hopefully we do see him back next year. And that's us here from Rugby Park anyway. 22 points to 16. Woodlands the victors over Star, and it's been a terrific day, terrific encounter. Woodlands once again the victors, and as I mentioned, time again, first time in 19 years we've had back-to-back winners. So congratulations to them, and thanks very much to the team here at QTV too. They've done a lot of work on some very cold, miserable days throughout the season to bring you some high-quality coverage of club rugby here in Southland. That's right throughout all of Southland. Some days we're rugged up in the back of vans and so forth to bring you games from around the districts, but it's a pleasure being here at Rugby Park and finishing the season off in the sunshine. So it's a big goodbye from myself and Tom here at Rugby Park, and what a pleasure it's been to be working with you here at QTV, and we hope you enjoy it and have a very safe off season, and we'll see you all again next year.